There's a lot of highs and lows when it comes to having a full-time career on YouTube.
You know, I don't have it all figured out. That's for sure. It took me a year to get 1,000 followers. And I was faithful, 40 hours a week. I worked so hard. I'm thinking if I do the math, I'm going to be 200 years old. But this is not sustainable.
That beginning stages can be so difficult.
I tell people it's like boarding the airplane is so fun. And then you got to go down the runway and it's like all this energy and no lift off.
Wow.
You just have to go and go and go. And then one day it lifts off.
What are your various income streams? Because it sounds like you have quite a few.
13.
Okay. What are the most profitable income streams?
The best thing I ever did was
Sarah Phillips is a creator of She Holds Dearly, a YouTube channel with over 115,000 subscribers, where she shares vintage-inspired interior design, DIY projects, and thoughtful homemaking. With a background in interior design and a passion for creating beautiful, functional spaces, Sarah also offers an online course, Elite Decorating Academy, where she teaches women how to transform their homes with confidence. Beyond YouTube, she hosts in-person retreats, providing an immersive experience in design, creativity, and community. Her content inspires viewers to craft a beautiful home that reflects their values and personal style. What is one of the biggest struggles, you would say, of being on YouTube?
Warning. This is intense. It is very vulnerable. It's a lot more vulnerable than viewers understand. Trying to formulate thoughts and, sit right and make sure the camera's right and the lighting's right. And it's just the most pressure that I've ever dealt with in my life. If you have like one thing off, you're going to hear about it. It's like junior high on steroids. I just was crying. They're basically sitting across the table and telling you how ugly you are and how much they hate you.
What was it that kept you going?
You have to in it. I had to really focus on the women that I'm doing this for and the women that are still showing up.
How do you want to be remembered?
Oh, I want to be seen as
many people on YouTube know, there's a lot of highs and lows when it comes to having a full-time career on YouTube. What would be those highs and lows for you?
Well, I mean, I actually am at a place where I've gotten to a more level rhythm with my team and my schedule and what it is that I think people want. And so I feel like I have a new set of pros and cons, but definitely like starting out, it feels like people aren't watching or you think you understand, and then you put something out there and there's just crickets, and that part is just hard on everybody, and it's so normal. I only know one friend who really exploded. Like, just it feels like everything was easy, like it was just a Cinderella story. I don't think that's actually normal. And so feeling like you're pouring yourself out and it's not working, or okay, so for instance, the first year, so I've been doing this for 7 years, and the first year, it took me a year to get 1,000 followers. And I was faithful, 40 hours a week. I worked so hard and put myself out there. And
how often were you uploading?
Once or twice a week. And I had a very successful blog and Instagram account. And so I had other things that were fueling into this YouTube channel, but it's still, that first year was so hard. And I'm thinking if I do the math, I'm going to be 200 years old before, like, this is not sustainable. And I just know that people feel that way, when they're starting out. But the truth is, and it's like this with my experience, like all areas of business, they start to snowball. And what you think was normal at 7 years ago would horrify you if that happened now. Now I expect to grow like 3,000 a month. And so the thought of growing, I don't know, what is that? Like 90 people a month or something,
Yeah.
like, that would be awful. So your standards change. So that's the first thing, is that the hard part is like feeling like it's not growing. And hopefully in 7 more years, I'll look back on today and say, oh my gosh, that was so nothing. I would be horrified if I had to deal with that now.
Wow.
And then I think the other part that's difficult is that It is very vulnerable. It's a lot more vulnerable than viewers understand, I think, until you have done it. I mean, you just watch someone try to take a selfie and it's like 30 different tries, fixing the hair and stuff. Well, it is way worse than that when you're on camera. Now you can edit. And so there's mercy there. but trying to formulate thoughts and sit right and make sure the camera's right and the lighting's right, and it's just the most pressure that I've ever dealt with in my life, to have so many things correct.
There's a lot for me to unpack there. I have a couple questions from what you said. So
yeah,
it took you a year to get 1,000 subscribers, which I think for a lot of the people watching this, that would probably help them feel better about themselves, because that beginning stages can be so difficult.
It's so hard at first.
And what was it that kept you going through that first year and even beyond?
Yeah, well, you have to know why you're doing it, and it can't be for followers. It can't be for money, actually. Eventually it began to make money. And so you can have the goal of, this is for my family, this is for our future, but it won't be enough at first. And then I had to really focus on the women that I'm doing this for, and the women that are still showing up and feeling like I'm changing their lives. Those are the ones who matter. And the critics and the ones who don't show up, it's not for them. And so as long as people are still showing up and you feel like it's not destroying your life, you keep going and you get better at understanding what it is that they want. Like, for so long, I did not understand how old my audience was. Mine is 45 to 80.
Yeah.
So I'm almost 48. And
I didn't know you were almost 48.
Yeah. Oh, and so actually that's something I would like to talk to you too, is to older women.
Yeah.
Thinking there's no place for them on YouTube. So I had 4 children still, now they're all grown and moved out. But when I started, I still had children. I homeschooled my kids. Mm-hmm. And so I would talk about that stuff and it would just tank. And I couldn't figure out why. And then I was looking at the demographics and I thought, they're just done. They're done raising kids. They want to work on their homes, because I'm an interior designer. I teach homeowners how to do their own homes. Mm-hmm. And they want to work on their homes. They finally have the money for it. They finally have the time. And so I started doing more interior design. And even thrifting. They love it when I go thrifting, just for the sport of it. It's not like they have to go. It's just because it's so entertaining. So whenever I even say the word thrift in my you're going to get views. So obvious how much better it does. And so, just understanding the audience. And then, at this point, I know a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And that is the best. Honestly, it's kind of a lonely job. It's a weird job. You're just by yourself all the time with a camera, pretending like it's a person. Yeah. And then you see the numbers and you see the little names, but you don't understand. You don't understand who it is. It's an odd job. But now I do live retreats around the country.
I saw that. I want to get into that more, because that is so cool.
And then I have 2 online schools. One of them is completely automated, and so I don't know those girls, but I have this other group that meets weekly. And so I now know a lot of these people, and that helps. I have letters from them. I actually keep letters and really good comments that just so encourage me. I keep them in a binder for the days when someone makes me cry in the comments. And I just read through this you have to encourage yourself sometimes to know that you are making a difference to those people. And so you have to keep coming back for them. Yeah. So those are some of the bad things. And I think it's hard for women. I know there's a lot of women are listening. Mm-hmm. It is like putting your beauty under a microscope.
Yeah, your face, everything, your hair.
It is so vulnerable. And if you have one thing off, you're going to hear about it. And I'm getting tougher, but there's bad days still where there's other things going on in my life that feel terrible. And then someone just takes me out in a comment. It actually happened was it last night? It's Wednesday night. It was Monday night. So, and I just was crying. It's like junior high on steroids. Like the stuff that people say. I mean, it's not just YouTube. It's online. Like people do not get that they are saying it to your face. Like they're basically sitting across the table and telling you how ugly you are and how much they hate you. And you're like, who does that? Like I would never do that to someone.
Same. I think that too.
Oh my gosh.
I would never comment that to anybody.
No.
Well, 'cause I do think happy people and confident people, I don't think they do that, to other people.
And most people are so nice, but it just takes the one point. Like, doesn't take a lot of poison.
A negativity bias. People tend to focus on like the negative comments they're getting. If it's 1 out of 100, and 99 are amazing, they're going to focus on that one. And it's human nature to do
I don't know what. I wish we wouldn't do that. And a lot of days I don't. I'm just like, yeah.
What was it about that comment? What was it about that comment? Do you mind saying like what is it that person said?
That one that happened. And I do have a full team. I have 6 people working for me. And there's usually 3 of us in the comments. I go in first, which is probably a bad idea. But with my schedule, like I'm the first one to get there. And so I see the negative stuff. And my team tries to just scoop that poop away, like just don't discourage Sarah because Sarah has to keep going. Like you have to keep going. So we have to protect ourselves from that really toxic stuff. And honestly, 99.9% of it is amazing and wonderful. I don't want to take away from those wonderful comments. But my team will oftentimes try to scoop those away, just delete them. Like, don't even let Sarah see them because it is so mean and so discouraging. And the comment on Monday night was about my, she said that I have really bad acne. And that, and just like really detailed, like I've been watching and like wouldn't back down. Like people were like arguing and protecting me and she just kept coming back like meaner and meaner. And like, I've been watching her for years. She has scars and, acne and she needs to see a doctor. And I'm like, do you know how many doctors I've been to? They just don't know, and also like I've had cancer, so I have a lot of scars. And so like for instance, I mean, I don't even know which eye is it on camera. There's one of my eyes has a really deep scar on the lid, and so I have to wear my eyeliner a certain way, and it always still looks kind of crooked. But I'm like, I'm kind of over it. This is like a small thing about me. And I'm just really glad to be alive.
Yeah.
So, but people will go after my eyeliner and be like, you should learn how to do your eyeliner better. I'm like, it's not a normal eyelid I'm dealing with. There's nothing else I can do about it.
People comment a lot about your eyeliner.
Yeah. It's just like, so, I don't know. They don't like my voice. They don't like my hair. So it's,
I love your hair. That was one of the first things I noticed. I think you have such pretty hair. Yeah.
Thank you. I had cancer, so I didn't have hair for 3 years with chemotherapy. Wow. So I'm just like, thank you, Lord. Like, I'm so grateful to have hair. I guess, I mean, I'm totally telling you the negative things. I pretty much covered it all, but just know that is coming and get ready, like have a plan for that. Like I'll read my encouraging emails to like, no, like not everyone feels that way. And I'll have my team delete the bad ones and, so you do things like that. And I feel like too, in the beginning, having a goal for yourself that is not dependent on who likes it or who follows, and just say like, I mean, I think a really good goal in the beginning is I'm going to make 100 videos. I'm going to make 100 and I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to be okay with publishing something that isn't perfect because you're getting better in front of people. And actually, I think that can be really encouraging for other people because they'll look back at my videos from 7 years ago and be like, whoa, okay, But say I'm going to make 100 of them, and every time I make a new one, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Like I'm going to make it 1% better. And that's your goal. And if you hit that, you have been successful, no matter what the crowd said, And so I think that's really helpful. And then as far as the good parts of YouTube, I almost feel like it's matched to the bad parts. So the people are hard, and also the people are amazing.
It's
And
like
then,
extremes on both ends.
yes. And then you get to meet those people. I mean, if you feel comfortable, like I would encourage people to try to do meetups. Maybe if you're out of town, like I don't share my location. Do not share your location unless I'm traveling. And then I'm like, hey, I'm in Kansas City. Who wants to meet at this, this famous antique mall? And then I'll have my husband there with me or something, so it's not.
It's so safe. I think that stuff like that is
so fun.
It is fun. And I think, not to get into like a whole nother discussion, but just to comment on that with like meetups, I've been thinking recently a lot about how we're going to navigate this world like with AI. And I think there are going to be certain things that are going to be even more important now than they were in the past. And so much of YouTube is about a community and building a community of people that are very like-minded. They share the same values. Like you've got your community of women that are slightly older. Maybe they're empty nesters. Maybe their kids are a little bit older, but they now have that time for themselves to create a beautiful home and they want to thrift. Like it's a very specific person, right? And so I think things like actual meetups is going to be the way of the future for like YouTubers.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be scary about AI that we're all trying to figure out, but I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to actually bring humans together. I've been thinking a lot about this. It's like what we have as humans is our humanity and our ability to connect with each other. You can create as many AI influencers as you want, but they're still not really people. So how are we going to like connect as people, right? And the meetup thing, and I was looking at your stuff that you sent over. I'm like, your meetup, and we can segue into that unless you have some thoughts on like the AI thing. But like, I think the meetup thing is really, really cool. Like, how did that come about?
So my background beyond interior design is a lot of event planning. Like I was famous for my children's birthday parties.
Oh,
and it's so fun. I actually love business ideas that came out of a mom's passion for her child at some point. They're good products.
Yeah.
And so I used to throw these incredible birthday parties. They've been in magazines. I thought about starting a blog about like children's parties, but then my children grew up, so it wasn't like sustainable really. And so I'm very, very good at huge vision and then actually getting it done. So I found the first place. It's the Mayhurst Estate in Orange, Virginia. Gorgeous, gorgeous mansion from the 1800s. And like one of the president's relatives built it. Anyway, it's beautiful. And so I saw it on Instagram and I just thought, what if we took like 30 women to this place? And so I guess I just was missing like putting that detail in. Like everything I do is so digital usually. And I thought, like you said, nothing compares to honestly like the awkwardness of human interaction. Like it's really good for us.
Yes.
And to like stumble through a conversation and actually hug someone or like give them a real gift that they can take home, that you made. And so I was wanting that element to be part of our business. And I just researched like who is doing design retreats. I mean, or women's retreats that are these like bucket lists, like amazing experiences. And I can't find anybody doing it. There's business retreats, but not for just anyone that wants to come. And I couldn't find anyone doing it because I wanted to copy them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anyone. And so I just thought, I'm just going to create it. Like, what would it be like for a woman to come from, now they're coming from around the world, but from anywhere in the US. and have 4 days of absolute beauty, surrounded by beauty, like catered, beautiful gifts, beautiful environment, the classes and we do a Bible study during that time. And then one day is all antique shopping. And then we come home and we all come back and we do this like show and tell time around the campfire.
Oh, fun. That's so fun.
It's so much fun.
I love stuff like that. I love
I just like
that.
I just thought I'll just dream up what I wish it would be, what I would like to go to, and we're going to make it happen. And so, I mean, I live on the West Coast, so we had to fly to the East Coast. We shipped 30 boxes of things there. It was basically a 4-day like destination wedding.
Yeah.
Like. There were so many people involved there. My team was flown in and we did it and we learned a lot. And so now we're on let's see, this is our 5th one. And then we've got 2 more in the hopper ready to be scheduled. We're now going to be moving around the country at different places. And so anyway, that event is as much work as it is. There is just nothing else like it out there that I'm seeing or that I'm doing either, and I mean, it's so fun. I can make it beautiful, but it's so fun to see what happens between them too. And you can't make that happen. But I'm seeing women, like sharing their life stories and becoming like best friends and talking to each other every week now. And I just kind of like put all the pieces together. So it's becoming something way beyond me. Wow. And I love that so much. So yeah, that's the retreats. And then, we have our group that meets once a week on Thursdays. We meet for an hour on Zoom. And we have that. And still, it's not like meeting in person. And then another thing, speaking of like AI and like how business is moving, I think there's so much information that is digital. And I have a lot of e-courses and products out there that are digital. But I feel like people are wanting physical things again more. And so we actually just started last week doing physical product. So it's curated seasonal decorating boxes. And within that box, there's different DIYs, real simple DIYs that you can do in like, I don't know, 20 minutes or something. And then you're done and you feel successful and you made it, and so having them get something, and it's wrapped completely gorgeous. Like it's a whole experience to open it up and find the different layers of everything. And so those are doing well. And even when I do a live workshop, I'm now trying to have them have a kit that goes with it that we open together. We do the project together. It's done and they feel successful, that it's finished. All those elements together, I think people are just ready for it.
They're craving it. Did you just launch this?
Yes, we launched our spring decorating collection this week. And then in January, we did our first workshop where you had to we created a design binder, and I don't have one here to show you. But it's one that I had designed. I had it custom made. Like, it took me 8 months, like with the factory, back and forth, getting it just right. So it's beautiful. It's heirloom quality. So they get the binder and then they come to class, and it's just a Zoom call, but it's 90 minutes long. And then they get, I had a PDF that they printed out before class, and they had to get their little supplies together. And so I think I had 30 pages or something that went in the design binder. And then I helped them understand how to use it. And we designed a room together. And then by the end, they're off and running and they have something in their hands. And I just feel like that is the perfect combination for people these days.
Yeah. Yeah. And was it on Zoom, the class? So how many people did you have on the class?
So 50
people. So you're kind of leading this class of 50 people, and all 50 of these people purchased the box. And then as part of that kind of like gift they bought themselves, it came with this live class.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So I think business owners like thinking, how can you give them something physical in their hands that's like a gift, comes in the mail, and how do you connect them with each other that's beyond all the edited, like curated stuff. It's like real life. Like what's some stuff going on in your life right now, that I can support you in, and so I think if you can get those two things, we're still in business, even with AI.
We're still relevant, right? We've
Yeah.
got our humanity. So
Yes.
wow, that's so cool. So you mentioned struggling, being vulnerable on YouTube. What is one of the biggest struggles you would say of being on YouTube?
Well, besides the ones that we've already discussed, it's age. So I feel like a lot of YouTubers are a lot younger. They're faster, they're flashier, trendy, and here I am pushing 50 and feeling like I need to probably wrap this up. It's hard for me to like see my skin aging on camera, year after year. And, I don't have it all figured out. That's for sure. And I feel like it's going to get clearer as time goes on, but I also feel like we need good examples of older women because we're aging. Every one of us is aging every single day. And we need women who are comfortable in their own skin, women who speak out the wisdom that they have learned over life that we are struggling to get. Like, I love talking with women who are 20 and 30 years older than me. They have perspective that helps, that saves me so much pain if they just say, yep, don't worry about that. Or nope, that's the hill you die on, and that stuff matters. And, so just encouraging older women, like, we need you to talk. And we need you to be an example to us, because I feel like women, there's a fear around aging and like watching our skin change and feeling like we're like, it's just over, like we're losing our value and you can't stop it. Like, there's some fear around that. And so having older women that are still here and still making a difference, and that's good for all of us. And I even noticed, like, watching the Super Bowl this weekend. Did you watch it?
No.
There were so many older actors and actresses. I mean, it was definitely the theme.
Oh, wow.
And I think it was like, oh, Harrison Ford, and oh, Matt Damon. And it was like, everyone was trying to figure out, is that what they look like now? Is that what they look like now? Maybe even Hollywood is waking up to this need for the older ones to say, hey, we're still here. We're still relevant. And this is what we look like. And it's still great. And you don't need to be afraid of this other side of life.
Well, that's a whole movie, The Substance, with Demi Moore.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Having a moment right now. Yeah,
Okay.
it was a cool movie.
Okay. Same idea.
It speaks on getting older and age, and especially for women. Yeah.
That, I mean, yes, you want to take care of yourself. I mean, I wish I had done a lot more in my 30s to take care of myself, not push myself as hard. And
how old were you when you got cancer?
I was 4.
Oh, you were little.
Little.
Oh.
Yeah, I had leukemia. And then
wow,
that lasted to age 8. And that time in your life shapes your brain.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like the biggest thing I got out of that is my brain became formed to see life as so precious and that every day matters. And I don't think that that's normal, actually. Like, when I talk with other people, there is not, like, I actually feel like I hear a clock ticking in my head all the time about, like, you don't know how long you have. You're living on borrowed time. I am,
Yeah.
And so you don't just get to waste year after year. You need to know what you're supposed to be doing, and you need to get it done and be glad on the last day of your life, that you can look back and know that you did what you were supposed to do. And so that's the gift that I got out of that. Like, my brain was shaped like that. And I talk with other people and they're like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I've been just like wandering around for 10 years and I'm like, I can't stand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the older women, I still think there's a place for us. I mean, I feel like my channel is it is like slower paced. I play a lot of piano music.
I love the music in your videos.
Thank you.
I love
That is for my mother.
That's one of the things I noticed. What? She plays for my mother?
No, my mother was a music teacher. She was a very accomplished pianist, and she died 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so, in fact, that was one of the reasons I started my YouTube channel, was she was getting dementia. And so she could play my YouTube videos. That's sad. And try to remember me. And so now the piano music you hear is always, that's for my mom.
Oh.
There's a lot to, and I mean, I feel like everybody on YouTube, like, we're people and we have stories, and there's, that's one thing I love about YouTube is how grassroots it is. You just get to know people and see them as friends and learn from them. And it's not like watching a TV show.
No, it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
AI can't take that away from us. I want to go back to what you said about taking a year to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Or for 1,000.
Yeah, to get to a year to 1,000 subscribers, right? Okay. When was the moment then where you realized, okay, this is like, I made it here on YouTube? Like
some encouraging moments, or
yeah, what were those moments? Was there like a tipping point where you're like, all right, like this is it. Like I made that right decision, investing 40 hours a week to YouTube.
Oh, there's been different moments where I was like, yep, this was a good path. I mean, the first encouraging thing is when you make a buck, you know? It's like a buck. I think I made $3 the first time, you know, that's encouraging. And then it starts, you know, it's a little drip, and then it becomes a trickle, and then it becomes an actual like living wage. And there was different things. I think, you know, I started out as a blogger and everybody was doing blogs. And then there was this shift. When would it have been? It would have been about 2019. And I heard this like low grade rumor going around that you better get into video because everything's going to be video in 5 years, which is about where we're at now. And so I was just cringing getting on camera like that. But I made myself do it because I think successful business owners, they're always exploring the next thing. You kind of got to be a curious kid about things. Just keep pushing buttons. Oh, what would happen if I do this? Okay, what would happen if I launch a spring collection? Like, and we don't have enough that it's going to like destroy us financially. You know, I'm putting this much money into it, and if it tanks, oh well, I'll give these away as prizes or something, you know?
Yeah.
But always curious about the next thing and always circling back to fix the old things, like to like update them or analyze them again. Like how do we be more efficient with this? What's working? And not like holding on. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Like holding on to the things that you loved that were like your baby and you just wanted it to work so bad and it's just not really working.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's better to be less emotional about it and be like, well, the numbers say this is what they like. We're going to double that part and we're going to let some of this stuff fall away. And sometimes it's so painful because you wanted this other thing to work so badly. Good business owners are okay with being unemotional about that. And I do I'm in a lot of business groups. I do a lot of business, like go to business conferences and things. And so I'm always trying to hear like, so what's working now? What's working now? And what should I be getting into? Like what's next? And so when they said video, I listened and most bloggers didn't. And I think blogging was really comforting for a lot of women because maybe they're introverted, maybe they don't like how they look or something. And so they were able to get their thoughts out and be heard. And that felt really, really good. They could finish their whole thought, put it out there. People would appreciate it. And they could stay kind of anonymous. And so that really attracted that type of woman, I feel like. And but then when we were told, put your face out there, a lot of women didn't do it. And now they're gone. And so it wasn't too long ago. I was looking back at women that I just, back in the day, I was like, I could never be like them, and they're gone.
They became irrelevant.
They did. And so you have to have the guts to pivot, and then seeing that, oh my gosh, it's working. That's really encouraging. Of course, having a video go viral, a lot of my growth comes from something that takes off.
Yeah. Like what for you? What was that?
It was a tour of my farmhouse. And I think it has 1 million views now. It's not even that good of a video. I think a lot of people didn't like it. And so they were leaving me negative comments.
Really?
Yeah. But whatever, like it grew. I got like 20. The next year I got like 20,000 followers from that video.
That's great. That was year 2.
Yeah. And then I realized, gosh, they want to see more of my house. Mm-hmm. So I've got to work that in. And
like, how many videos did you create before you like figured that out?
Gosh, I bet we were at over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
it feels like it takes that long. Doesn't it?
This is what I always say. I mean, you said so many good things, but like, it's like YouTube is long form, long game, and you have to have patience. Like, look at you. Like, it took you a year to get to 1,000. It took you 100 plus or minus, videos to figure out, oh, people want to see your farmhouse. Like, I don't know how many videos it took you to figure out, oh, my demographic are like women in their, late 40s, 50s, and 60s. Like, that's different time to figure out. And it's, it's kind of like an experiment in some ways. Like,
it's totally, you got to be okay with the experimenting and okay with, I tell people, that feeling like you're the kindergartner with your lunchbox walking in on the first day of school?
Yeah.
And it's so awful, but honestly, that little kindergartner is your friend. And you should feel that several times a week because that means you're growing. Okay, even like getting this, like you asked for this microphone.
Yeah, the one I have right here too.
And so I bought it.
Oh, you bought it? Oh, you
bought it overnighted. Yeah, I have a different one that is not easy to hook up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to like level up. I'm going to get a better one.
I mean, it's $100. It's actually like a really nifty little microphone for $100. Yeah. Yeah. So, voiceovers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but I had like a little bit of a moment of like, I feel like the kindergartner, like trying to get it hooked up. Like I had to bring my son in to like check some stuff. But you know what? That's the girl who's learning, and so make friends with her. So I feel like just general knowledge out there thinks that people make money off the ads. And I heard someone, it actually was on your channel. Someone left a comment that said, Angie from Hot and Flashy, Angie's got 50,000 views on that video. She's doing fine. She's making plenty of money. And I thought, oh my gosh, shall we do the math on that? So, well, I don't know. Maybe other people are different. There are plenty of people proving me wrong. But from my experience, a 50,000 view video is earning you maybe $400, $400. Then you've got to pay, I pay 20% in taxes. I have an editor, which is $200. So I've now just worked 40 hours for less than $1. And you're telling me that I'm doing fine. Like nobody does that. Yeah. That is a terrible plan for your life.
Yeah.
So this idea that everybody's just fine because of ads is a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's encouraging and I'll take it, but it's not a living. That's not what you do.
No, you can't rely solely.
No, that's not the plan. What works for me is I have other products that I offer to my followers. So they're my products or they're sponsored. It's sponsored work. And people will get upset and be like, oh, like she's always selling something. And I mean, I get pushback, but the truth is like, I'm giving you free content that's worth like $1,000 and to create every week. And it's not free for me. And I need to be doing something else if I'm making $1 an hour. Yeah. So this is how I give you free content. This is how it works. And they would do the same too. They should.
Well, you have to. You're not doing this for free. I mean, you're doing it because you love it and you want to.
I do love it.
But you also have to like eat and have a roof over your head. And you have 4 kids.
Everybody does.
You have to be able to. be comfortable in life so that you feel good enough to be able to give this content. And that comes with sleeping in a nice bed, feeling like all the things, right? That costs money.
Yeah.
So
it's not rocket science. Like, we're all working a job, and we should be. And we should be trying to meet each other's needs. And
so how do you break it down? So for you, what are your various income streams? Because it sounds like you have quite a few.
13.
Okay, let's jump into them. Yeah.
And so if one's doing bad, I can double up on something else. You know, I do think you should have several streams. And so, okay, let me see if I can remember all of them. Okay, I do make some ad revenue on my YouTube channel, just a little bit. It covers my editor and a little bit more. And then I get ads from my blog. I get affiliate income, just a little bit from affiliate links, products that we're using, clothes I'm wearing, all little things, my couch. The best affiliate income comes from some linen drapes in my living room.
Oh,
People love those drapes.
Where are they from?
2 Pages.
What's that?
It's called 2 Pages.
Oh, it's a store called 2 Pages.
Yeah, it's called 2 Pages. It is their custom drapes, which is really good. That's a good product for people. And they're just the quality, they're linen and they're pinch pleat, and there's like,
and drapes are so expensive.
They're so expensive. So I love 2 Pages drapes. And then I have my group that meets every week. I charge for that. That's a subscription service. That's $37 a month.
And that's like a design group, like women that are into design, and you just like hang out with them every week and talk about design stuff.
Yep. And we have a Bible study with that as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so your women are religious or Christian. Okay. Yeah. That's very specific.
Yeah. In that group. And I talk about the Lord on YouTube or on Instagram a little bit, so people know, like, yes or no, do they want to be around me?
Yeah.
And then the ones that want a lot more will join my behind the scenes group, which is $37 a month. Or they'll come to the design retreats.
Yeah.
So there was design retreat makes money. I have an online interior design school. So if you know nothing and you want to become a professional interior designer, I have an entire school for that. And I'm in the process of trying to get it into colleges.
Cool.
So they can offer it as one of their online courses. Because online courses aren't doing as well for creators, but they're booming in colleges. So just find where people want your products.
Yeah.
And pivot. Then I do sponsored work, and I have an agent for that. That was a game changer.
Really?
I absolutely think you should have an agent. Because that's her full-time job. And she's just a rock star. She talks to me almost every day. She signs my contracts for me. She's always negotiating for me, sending me the products. And so she just is like always just a step ahead of me, just taking care of me each week. Yeah, I would find an agent for that as soon as possible. And I mean, you could have 40,000 followers and you could get an agent. And then the spring collections. What else? Our workshops. That's an example.
Okay, 2 questions.
Okay.
What is the most profitable decision you made with your business? And what are the most profitable income streams of the 13?
The best thing I ever did was YouTube. Not because just YouTube. Like, think of YouTube a lot bigger. Think of it as your long form commercial. Honestly, yes, we're talking about fun things and, giving free content out. But I always have to keep in mind that, like, I'm actually working 40 hours a week on this because it's my way to connect with my people on all these other things that actually do bring in a good income. That was the best move I ever did, was go on YouTube. And the most profitable is that design retreat. I hardly even talk about them, and people just like can't wait to come. They just cannot wait to buy the tickets. And the tickets are like $1,700. That's just huge for us. It's a very expensive retreat, but also like it's worth my time too. Like, it's definitely worth my time. And then the third best thing would be that weekly meeting. Isn't that interesting? Like, all 3 of the things I've said are very human. And they're it's vulnerable for me and also really rewarding for me because I get to see them, their vulnerability. Like anyone listening, I would like really think about what it is that you're offering and how to make it human on both sides. Those are definitely our bread and butter products.
More so than the sponsorships.
Mm-hmm. Sponsorships, though, I think will get more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My friends around me are making a lot more than I am, and so
Are you a smaller channel than your friends? Or
you know what? Sponsorship doesn't go, in my experience, it doesn't go off of your followers. It goes off of your views.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about, and they only look at the last month of your views. So if you go on vacation for a month, you're making no money the next month for your sponsorship. They're not going to pay you very much. So I'm always trying to keep, always be consistent, always knowing when I'm supposed to be posting. My goal personally is to hit 30,000 views in 1 week, after 1 week. And when I'm not doing that, like my rates are dropping. And companies are mad. They're mad at me. So that's hard.
That is hard. How do you deal with that? Like, you have a bad video, you have a bad week, like.
I mean, you got to keep looking at the big picture. And like my friends that I admire so much on YouTube that are doing so well, they don't get emotional. They just keep cranking them out. They're like, whoop, okay, learned something there. Won't do that again. And then some companies, I'm like, you know what? I love your product. I know I put a good plug out there for you, but my people aren't liking it. Like after you've tried like 4 times with a product and it's still not selling, I'm like, hey, I guess it doesn't work with my audience. I'm not taking this personal. I'm just going to go find another company. There's so many companies out there. So keep it, like, do your best work and then know that either learn from it or just say, yeah, it's not working for my audience. Like, no hard feelings. Let's part ways.
You said that one of the best things that you did was to have a manager that was a game changer. How did your manager find you? Is this manager like you said it's a woman, so I'll use she. So like, did she find you?
No.
Does she work on her own? Does she work for like an agency company? What's kind of the breakdown of that?
Okay, so she works for a company. So I think if you were to, actually, I would ask around. Mm-hmm. For those of you trying to find an agent, I would ask your friends who they're going with, and then you get then you have an
personal referral.
And you're like, oh, my friend so and so said, that you were really good, and then that's how I got in. Is I went to one of my friends and name dropped, and otherwise I have tried to get in with others, just like cold. What is that called? Like
cold calling.
Cold call, yeah.
Email, yeah.
And that didn't go as well. I mean, word of mouth is always the best. I would think if you Googled, like influencer agent or someone, handling sponsorships, that I would go to an agency. So I do work with one gal, her name's Emma, but she's part of a whole group all over the country. Yeah. I don't know if that's very helpful. I mean, for me, the most successful was hearing from my friends and getting an email.
Yeah.
And directly contacting them.
And it was her specifically, or was it the agency that they connected you to, and then you got like assigned Emma?
I got Emma's email.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is my friend who works with you, and she recommended you. She thinks you're really good. And they take a percentage, which is kind of nice because you don't have to pay them. I mean, and they're always trying to negotiate a higher rate for you because it benefits them too. Mm-hmm. And so Emma gets 10%, or the agency gets 10%. And that's pretty low. I think normal is 20%.
Yeah. I was like, I've heard upwards of like 25, 30% sometimes.
I believe it. Yeah. So yeah, it's just really good to have somebody to bounce ideas off. And when something goes wrong, like she'll kind of coach me through it, like, well, we could do this, we could do this. Like sometimes a company that you're working for won't allow you to publish. This just happened to me. I know I have to publish on Saturday morning if it's going to do well.
Yeah.
And they were in Europe. And so they went home, and I didn't know that. So they went home like 8 hours before I realized they were going home. And they're like, yep, we're on the weekend. See you Monday. And so that video is not doing well. So we had to, and they said, and you are absolutely not allowed to publish. And my agent goes, well, you can do it. And she's like, here's your options. You can publish on Saturday, knowing it will do well after all of our work, but they may not pay you because you're breaking contract.
Yes.
So you get in situations like that. And then
what'd you end up doing?
I didn't publish.
You didn't publish, right? You said that. I know it's not doing well.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I think that they made a bad business call because they're not benefiting. And this is a Valentine's Day sale. And so we just lost 2 days, two the best days for their product to get out there. I'm like, I don't think they said to do the right thing.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes, like, I wonder how much companies, I think a lot of them are wising up because, I feel like back not too long ago, companies, and some still do, really dictate to the creator. I want you to say this. I want you to do this. I want it to be like this. I want it to be like this. But it's up to the creator to be like, well, that's like not going to jive with my audience. So I can do it. But like, what is your goal? To make sales? You want me to come up?
Because I know my people.
I know my people. I know they're going to want to watch it on a Saturday morning. I know they're not going to want to watch me do this. I know this and that. Like, I think maybe your contact, your agent does listen to you and she's doing her best to like communicate to the brand, right? But it's the brands that have to they got to come to terms with really working with the creator. So they get
they chose me for a reason.
Yeah.
And so they should enjoy that, use me for that, for what they hired me for.
Exactly.
And let me be the expert in some of this stuff.
What's the name of the agency?
So I go with Honest Influence. This one particularly specializes in homeowners and DIY and decorating and things. And Honest Influence has one branch that focuses on men creators who are DIY tools and stuff. And
very
that's
niche.
so cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's cool. Like, it makes sense that even the agencies themselves would be niche focused because the brands are niche focused, right? There's going to be the same brand that's going to advertise on you might not necessarily be the same brand that wants to advertise on someone doing makeup or something. But I noticed on your channel, actually, you have like Thrive Market and things like that are pretty universal.
Yeah. It's not just the product. You also have to like their business model and the way they communicate and things. So yeah, you start to learn like some companies you just fall in love with and you just such a great relationship with.
So how do you measure success differently now than when you first started?
I feel like when you first start a business in general, there's this it's really fun to start. It's really dreamy and you like to talk, it's fun to tell people about and do your branding and stuff. And then it sets in and it's like the long haul. I tell people it's like boarding the airplane is so fun. And then you got to go down the runway and it's like all this energy and no lift off.
Wow.
And you just have to go and go and go. And then one day it lifts off. And you actually can think about hiring more people and you actually have to start paying taxes because you're making money, and
I love that analogy, by the way. I'm gonna steal that if that's okay. That is such a good analogy with the airplane. I've always say YouTube is kind of like a hockey stick effect, but the airplane thing is good because you're right. There's a lot of momentum at the beginning and that excitement, right? This idea of like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm so excited. I'm going to buy the camera. I'm going to do this. I have this and this and okay. And then people do it and do it. And then it's like video 5, video 10, video 15, video 30, video 4, for you, it took over 100 videos, right? And that's honestly, that runway though is where people get off.
It's true. That's where they quit. I bet 95% of them quit.
Yep.
So when I first started, it was all about the numbers. I actually I found my journal the other day from 10 years ago when I started business. And there was this one day and I was just laughing at myself because I was like I sounded like a kid, I was like, I just lost 13 followers on Pinterest and I'm devastated. And now I'm like, what the heck? Who cares? I lose people all the time. It's forward, back, it goes like this and then you slowly go up. You cannot worry about the people that leave. Who knows why they left? And so it used to be about the numbers. like devastation, and just the highs and lows. I was my emotions were ruled by the numbers. And now I don't even look at those numbers. Like my assistant will pull them once a month because I should know them.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you honestly would be okay with not looking at your numbers for like 2 years.
What number?
That's bad advice. I wouldn't say like maybe not 2 years, but I will say from 0 to 2 years, you're going to get a much better understanding of what's going on than 2 weeks.
Oh, you're saying your first 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, you almost like just need to put your seatbelt on and go, I'm doing this for 2 years as hard as I can. And then I will evaluate.
Yeah. I know what you're saying by that. I mean, I think it's a good idea to look at your numbers like periodically, but at the beginning, I think like it's almost like the opposite. It's like you lived and breathed by the numbers, but the reality is like that's actually when the numbers you can't, because you have to get going. Like you said earlier, I think you said something like, I'm just going to make 100 videos, and that's all
your number.
That's all you're tracking. Yeah.
That's your number.
Mm-hmm.
You can control that.
Yeah, you can.
Right. But now that things have evened out, I have my team. I know what works. Not that you ever arrive. I don't believe you ever arrive. It's like a mirage that you would ever arrive. I think like even the big companies around us, they got the same problems we do. They just have more zeros after all the numbers.
Yeah.
But they can fall tomorrow too. I mean, you see like wedding venues in COVID. Oh
yeah.
boy.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have time to pivot, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you were Amazon or you were like at home lash extensions, it was like the perfect time for you. Home Depot did the best they've ever done during COVID.
Yeah.
So some things are out of your control. And I don't feel like I ever want to get too proud and think I'm invincible. I think I actually am kind of grateful when I published a video and I like said something wrong, or my hair was really annoying me in that video, or, you know, and I think, you know what, that keeps me humble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a good place to be. There comes a point where you no longer can do it yourself anymore. And that's a scary moment. And it means like in a lot of ways you've arrived because you actually have to trust people with your passwords and that, you know, the company credit card. And so it's scary to hand that over to them, but you cannot grow if you do not begin to trust other people. There's a point that you get to. The other thing I would say, with success is I'm to the point where I want a good night's sleep. And I don't want to feel frantic anymore working. And if I can do that, I'll take a pay cut for that. Like I get to the point where I just want like quality evenings with my husband. And that to me is that's what we're all working for anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm relaxing in like the growth of it and trying to enjoy my life more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are attracted to YouTube because of the idea of like flexibility with their own time and their own schedule.
Yeah.
But it can be hard because, as you know, like you grow something that becomes actually bigger and you're like, wow, I have a lot, you know, I have a lot to do.
In some ways it's really flexible because you could be on vacation and take your cell phone out and do your video that week. Yeah. YouTube's amazing. It's an amazing time to be in business, in history, and to be just, like a woman with your cell phone. Like I started out with my cell phone and you upload a video and you're off and running.
And you do it. How do you stay true to your own mission while adapting to the changes of the platform, of YouTube, of the industry?
I think that like we keep talking about the humanity side of what we're doing, and that's just never going to go away. And so the only pivoting that I'm really doing is I'm repackaging the delivery. I'm still saying the same things and connecting with humans the same. And it's still about our homes and feeling proud of our homes, being comfortable inviting people into our homes. And those are timeless things. And even I'll read interior design books from like early 1900s and not a lot has changed. There's still the same rules that apply to like what is proportional, what's comfortable, what is good etiquette for a company. Like you always want an end table next to a chair. That stuff is still there, but I have to get the information to the people through these different conduits. That's the only part you're pivoting on.
Yeah. That's cool. And how do you want to be remembered?
Oh, I want to be remembered as an interior designer that was a lot more than just what I feel like the status quo is seen as sort of sterile and like expensive and maybe even like elitist. I want to be seen as the big sister to women, and that helps women understand. Like I know I'm professional interior design. I went to school in London, and I know what they teach you. I know what it takes. So giving them those professional tools closes that gap for them, and they have those skills the rest of their lives. So I want to be seen as someone that was a friend to the homeowners, and then also like, we talk about things a lot deeper than just the curtains, and the furniture layout, and we talk about things that like, how do you forgive someone that you feel like you can never forgive, and how do you not be jealous of other women, and those things will destroy your house. If you can't sleep at night, I don't care how what your thread count is on your sheets. You're so upset, or you're like bound by perfectionism, and so I also want to be remembered as the one who went deeper into the heart issues that affected our homes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what is the one takeaway you hope our viewers get about YouTube and having a YouTube career after watching this?
I mean, assuming it's not going to hurt your family. I mean, I know a lot of YouTubers that are divorced now. Warning, this is intense, but so just know, it'll run you into the ground if you don't put boundaries on it, and give yourself reasonable expectations. This is going to take 3 years or something, so as long as you can keep a grasp on the real things that matter, I think you should do it, because I think everybody is so different. God makes us different, and that's your secret sauce. And so, yeah, people will watch my channel, and you may be talking about thrifting and decorating, the exact same thing, but you're different than me. You're going to do it a little bit different. Your branding is going to be different. Your mannerisms are a little different. Your home's a little different. You live in a different town. There are people that are going to listen to you better than they're going to listen to me. So I feel like if people feel like they want to get a message out, but everyone else is already doing it, that's just not true, because everybody is a little bit different, and people connect with you a little better. Some of them are going to connect with you a little bit better than me. And so you have to do it. You're the only one that can do it like that. And just be patient with it, and have other products that actually bring in money, not the YouTube ads. Honestly, if you had a product now and you talked about it on your first video, you can make sales right there. So you can control that. Yeah. But I love YouTube as much as it makes me cry sometimes. So do my kids, I love them.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I love that. Sarah, this has been such a great interview. I really enjoyed every second of it. I think so many people can relate and will, relate to this. So for people that are not familiar with you and your content, where can they find you?
Yeah. So, She Holds Dearly was the name of my blog, and it's still my website, sheholdsdearly.com. That, of course, will get you hooked up with everything else I've been talking about. And then on YouTube, I'm She Holds Dearly too.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. This has been great.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Bye.